It's been 4 months since the majority of Californians said no to something one Folsom man's been working on for years, the removal of Governor Gavin Newsom from office. 61.9% of those who went to the polls last September 14th decided to retain Newsom, choosing him over 46 candidates who had their hats in the ring. Orrin Wheatley was the lead proponent of the Recall Gavin 2020 effort and joins me now live as California works to reform its recall process. Welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, so many of these recall efforts have started and failed. Someone tried to recall the governor 3 times in 2019. The effort by you that went all the way to the polls last year was your second attempt at it in 2021. Earlier this week, we heard from the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, about ideas for reforming how the state does this. And one of them is placing limits on the number of recall attempts against one specific target. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that those numbers are skewed because there was only 3 actual attempts to recall the governor that circulated petitions. So the other attempts that are listed on record were failed for procedural reasons and never made it to the street.
Okay, so you think that maybe only the efforts that make it to the petition stage should get counted then?
Absolutely. And
okay.
I don't think there should be any limits to that. I think that if a governor is failing to represent the people that he was elected to represent, or any other government official fails to represent the people that put them in office, then they should be held accountable. And this is the mechanism that people have to hold those elected officials accountable. And it's more important in this political environment when you have a single party supermajority rule. You lose that balance of, or the separation of powers, and it gives way to a super majority. And the only mechanism left to hold those elected officials accountable is the recall process, is the ability of the people to fire an elected official if they fail to do their job as prescribed.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of the proposals that are out there. What about the proposal to shorten the recall ballot to just a single yes or no question instead of having a second question? That was something that really caused a lot of people confusion this last go round.
That would be a double-edged sword for the Democrat Party to actually put forward. That might be something that I would be most inclined to support, but not that I do, but it would be the one that I would consider supporting out of all of the suggestions. But it is a double-edged sword, and there are unintended consequences for what they seek to do, because consider this, the lieutenant governor is a separately elected official, and there's no guarantee that there would be a lieutenant governor of the same party in office as the governor himself. So it's the potential for having a lieutenant governor of a different party take over for a governor that was recalled would be very real.
Alrighty, and just before we run out of time with all the ideas that are out there on the table, it wasn't so much that people didn't agree with the recall process, and that there was something necessarily wrong with the process this last time, just that for your position, not enough Californians agreed with what you wanted to do. Doesn't that show that the process actually worked? It's not supposed to guarantee an outcome. It's supposed to guarantee the option to be able to put this before the whole state to vote. In that respect, this process that we have right now, 110 years old, it worked.
It worked flawlessly. And this was the largest ever attempted petition drive in our nation's history. And we did it all with volunteer effort alone. I mean, we gathered 1.7 million signatures without any professional help whatsoever, with one of the largest statewide networks that we built. We are now rebuildcalifornia.com, and we're moving forward with the public initiative process, and we're driving the direct democracy forward with other initiatives. And there's a crime initiative that just hit the streets today that we're beginning to circulate petitions for.
All righty, well, we will have to put a pin in it there and have you back to talk about that one as the statewide effort to look at this recall process continues. Thank you so much for joining us today and offering your insight.
All right, God bless. Take care.
Thank you. Now let's